What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the pocket dimension and how it works, talking about the battles we have in there. We're going to be going through them with MSF.gg, talking about the best team to use with your Resolute roster, how to kind of work that all together, and also talk a little bit about the rewards because there's some controversy with some of the rewards. We're going to talk about all that in today's video. If you guys do find this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Let's dive right into it. So Pocket Dimension, if you have not looked for it, it's over here in your Dark Dimension tab. And you scroll all the way over here to the right, and here you go, Pocket Dimension. Now, it's going to start in 5 days. And there's been some questions about the rewards. It only displays your first clear rewards here. And then I'm sure once you clear it that first time, you'll get your second rewards. And one of the first things to talk about is there was a little bit of a controversy talking about the fully crafted pieces. MSF.gg wasn't exactly clear on this. In fact, if you pull up the rewards here for your clearing of Pocket Dimension, it says that you get 8 random fully crafted items here on your first run, another 8 on your second run. It doesn't specify that you get a certain amount of each quality in there. It's been a little bit of confusion. However, this was confirmed by Cerebro on a Reddit post that you will indeed actually get 3 teal pieces and 5 fully crafted orange pieces per run. Also, if you pay a little more attention to your rewards here, you will see this times 5, and you scroll down to the teal and it says times 3. We were not really sure about this. We were waiting for official confirmation. We just want to make sure, because if it was going to be this whole RNG mess where you could get like 8 crafted orange pieces and someone else got 8 crafted teal pieces, yeah, that'd probably set someone off a little bit, especially considering how rare teal gear is. However, it is predetermined. You will get 3 teal per run, 5 teal or 5 orange per run. So it's not as bad as we thought. The other thing too is if you go back and look at the rewards for it, also can see the only thing that's random is going to be your catalysts. And this, again, if you go back and look at the rewards, you can see you get up to 250 of your teal catalysts, 250 of your orange catalysts, and of your basic and your basic catalyst part, 200 of each. We don't know how that'll all, like, I'm pretty sure that's just going to be completely random. However, teal gear is a little bit better in terms of requiring those catalysts. So it's not something where you're going to have just stupid amounts of defense catalysts, unless you're like me, where your prestige ores from Thanos Giving were nothing but armor catalysts. So your catalysts and teal are a little more widespread. They're not as stingy with, or you're not going to have a huge abundance of armor catalysts for teal like you would for orange. So it's not gonna be as bad. Like you can see there, 7,300 armor catalysts for orange. Never gonna have those, but yeah. So the teal catalyst is not gonna be as bad. So overall, the rewards look really respectable, at least on the first run. If you go and look back at your second run, this is the thing that has people worried, is that there's 55 Scarlet Spider shards on that second run, and this has not that people are upset with the Scarlet Spider event or with the Scarlet Spider shards in here. The problem is that about half of the shards you get for Scarlet Spider are locked behind Pocket Dimension if you're free to play, which is a big problem because free to play or like brand new players are not going to be clearing this Pocket Dimension, and this is not good stuff. So new players are not going to be getting this, so they're stuck with a 2-star Scarlet Spider from this event, because they're not gonna be able to clear it the second time. They're only getting like what, 70, 80 shards at most of, I believe, I don't even think, I have to go back and look, but I don't think you even get 80 shards of Scarlet Spider through the event Horizons. So you're gonna be stuck with so I just looked at it. You don't get many through the New Heights milestone here. So yeah, you're not getting many. So like half of your shards for Scarlet Spider are through the Pocket Dimension, meaning that brand new players are only going to have a 2-star Scarlet Spider, which sucks. Like they've gotten real stingy with rewards, with these event rewards lately. And we saw it with Magic and how her store didn't have any shards with her. Now we're getting even worse with this Pocket Dimension with Scarlet Spider. It doesn't look good. So out of everything here, like the only bad thing is going to be the Scarlet Spider shards, and that's like half of your allowance of his shards if you're free to play. Everything else in the rewards looks great here. And yeah, there's no real complaints there. So let's move on to these maps here, and this is all under MSF.gg. If you guys want to go check it out, go check out their website. They've got the map for everything. The first node, very easy, like 20k power, level 65 characters, no ISO on them. They're all 4 yellow, so you're gonna be able to clear this in like no problem at all. Like these this first run is not gonna be that difficult if you're an end game player. You'll be able to clear this very easily, which is I think is what this is mostly tuned towards. Granted, you're also, like, we always talked about the Scarlet Spider Shards and how that's locked here behind the Pocket Dimension, but it's not until you get to the last couple of nodes that things start to dial up a little bit, but still not too bad. Now, of course, these are several Wolverines who will probably, more than likely, have the rework with him, with his Weapon X stuff, where now he's got more damage and health and everything, so you will want to keep an eye out for these Wolverines here. There's quite a few of them. You also have several Nebulas here. Again, like there's a striker here on this nebula, there's a skirmisher on this nebula, so this nebula can set up vulnerable for this striker where she can do repeated damage and do max health damage, so it is something to watch out for. You have a skirmisher here on this Wolverine here in wave 3, which is kind of odd, and then there's no ISO on this medic and Groot here on the final wave, but overall most of these look pretty straightforward. You do have to be careful with all the Deadpools and the executes. So you're going to have to probably use a couple runs on that. But, I mean, again, here's your final fight, and it's really just Ultron and friends. There's a Captain America, several Shield Troopers, a Mordo, several Mordos, actually, several Shield Troopers, a Hand Sentry, a Merc Lieutenant on the first and last wave, a couple of Captain Americas, which can do ability energy. All of them have 2.3 ISO, but really none of these fights look too difficult if you're an endgame player. If you're pushing endgame progression, like your Doom Raids and everything, these should not be a problem. So now let's talk about the Resolute team. So right now, there's only one character on this team that has Dark Dimension bonuses. You must use Resolute characters inside the Pocket Dimension. You have no choice on this. Cersei is like the shining star of this team because she has Dark Dimension bonuses. This is why Icarus and Cersei are like one of the top 2 characters to bring into Dark Dimension 5. Their Dark Dimension bonuses are insane, and it applies to Pocket Dimension as well because it is part of that mode. For instance, in Dark Dimension, she does apply defense up to herself and all allies for 2 turns, but also she gains 25% boost in damage with her passive. Her ultimate will flip 3 negative effects into positive effects on self and all allies. That will be very helpful for certain fights. And also because, well, no, she won't be. That's only arena. This would be very helpful if you could do this in Dark Dimension as well, but this is only in arena applying 2 ability energy for self and allies. So, you know, she does have some solid Dark Dimension bonuses. She's going to be very helpful there. Another character, this one's, I was hoping his legendary event would come back around before Pocket Dimension so players could get him for this mode. Unfortunately, Omega Red's going to be very good. He has a huge amount of health steal. His ultimate can flip all positive effects and then negative effects on all enemies. Applies ability block, slow, and heal block, reducing speed bar. Yeah, this character he's very good, and he'd be one of the best characters to bring in a Pocket Dimension. If you have him, great. If you don't have him, you got to find other substitutes. So you got to look through the rest of your roster and see what else is here, and you want to look for characters that have synergies. You want to have characters that pair up with each other. For example, you have your 2 Web Warriors here. If you have them geared up, they're going to work okay. The problem is there's a lot of raid abilities, especially with Scarlet Spider. So this duo may struggle a little bit unless you have 14 or 15 on them. Probably not a good idea. Shuri and Black Panther are both here, but Wakandans are probably not a good idea to bring them in. Shuri would be helpful because of her defense up, applying ability energy. If you have her geared up for tech nodes, yeah, you're going to want to use her here, but you're not going to build up Black Panther for this. I would not recommend bringing in Black Panther. Yes, there's synergy with Shuri, but Black Panther's just not worth the investment here. This is maybe a one-time event. We don't know how many times it's going to come back. We'll see. Other synergies that may work really well. Storm and Magic. Magic builds up charge on Storm. That allows her special to do a lot of stunts to the enemy team. Also can build up charges for her ultimate, which can do a ton of damage. Great synergy between these 2 characters. And then a 3-way synergy with Yondu, Star-Lord, and Groot. So, I've been doing experimentation. I'm going to go get a drink of water. Ugh, my throat's dry. Alright, there we go. Much better now. So, anyways, what were we talking about? So Yondu, Star-Lord, and Groot. Star-Lord and Groot, the Guardians of the Galaxy characters. Groot does have some cleansing, can put defense up and death proof on your team with some of his abilities. So, yeah, he's pretty good here in helping with your team with sustainability. Dark Dimension is always about kind of sustainability and surviving to the end of the fight. Yondu, I've been doing experimentation with Star-Lord and Yondu inside Blitz. Star-Lord put on the end, put Yondu next to him. Star-Lord just feeds ability energy to Yondu. Yondu does more summons, does more ultimates. It's a pretty good synergy. I like using them both together. It works really well. So you could have some synergy here between Star-Lord and Yondu. It's really going to depend, number one, on who you've got geared up, and number two, it may change from fight to fight. Like for instance here, this is the Ultron fight, but you have a couple of Mordos in here. You have 3 Mordos in this fight. You can't see that there. So you have 3 Mordos who are all going to put heal block on your team. They're going to put blind and stuns out. So you need ways to either put immunity on your team or be able to cleanse them. This is where Cersei is going to come into play very well. Her ultimate here is going to flip negative effects into positive effects. Heal block will be flipped to death proof, I believe. So there you go. Death proof is always welcome. Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, it's really what you want to go for. You're gonna have to kind of change it up depending on what you're fighting. And if you're overpowered, if you're pushing like Doom 2.0 or even higher, you're not going to really worry about your strategy. This is more for lower level players who are going to be able to slowly push through it, who are kind of going through like Doom 1, or not even, but like Ultima 7 pushing into Doom 1. They may find these last few nodes pretty hard, especially this one with all these Wolverines and these Deadpools. You have a lot of executes from Deadpools going on. You have these Electros that hit hard. You have a Doctor Strange over here who will flip things. You have these Nebulas with Skirmisher and Striker. They're stealing max health. And yeah, this node is probably going to hurt. So this is where Groot may be very helpful because of his defense up and his death proof. This may be a situation we want to bring Groot in and bring him in. And if he dies, well, then he gives defense up to your team. But hey, in the meantime, hopefully you got those defensive buffs off, helped your team build up a little bit, just kind of last out some of these things because, yeah, this is this is going to be a rough node, especially if you're a low-level player because of just the sheer amount of damage that's hidden within this node. That's in Mission 9. If you look at some of these others, like here's a Nick Fury one. This is like Nick Fury plus Shield. It's all Nick Furies and Shield. So you want to find a way to put Disrupted on Nick. You want to prevent him from spreading buffs out because then these other characters are going to start hammering you. There's a lot of assists. You've got 2 taunts there already with Shield Troopers on that first wave. More Shield Trooper, another Shield Trooper on wave 3. So this is where you may want to find some characters that could help you, like, just kind of prevent things. Like Storm here, their special in the stun, would be pretty good here. Omega Red, if this is very good, like for Omega Red, if Nick Fury does get all his buffs out, you just use the ultimate from Omega Red, you flip everything. Doctor Strange, another character here. So this is really going to come down to figuring out, if you're low level, figuring out the right characters for each node. And maybe we can talk about that in more detail in another video. But yeah, it's one of those where you want to look at your characters, figure out who works best, figure out the best synergies, and then use those characters. So yeah, there's no necessarily a best team there. I mean, if you're an end game player like I am, characters like Cersei, Yondu, Omega Red, Shuri, like Multiple Man, Storm, Yondu, something like that, is just gonna steamroll the entire thing. Like, that's not gonna be a problem for me. But if you're low level trying to push through this and get all those rewards, and these rewards are very good, it's going to be a little more strategic for you and figuring out what you want to use and what's going to be best for you. Black Panther, I know I just poo-pooed on Black Panther a little bit, but if you have a team, if you end up with a fight with a lot of summons like those Nick Furies, Black Panther may be useful there. You pair him up with Shuri. Black Panther gets that ultimate built up. He goes crazy, kills a bunch of minions with it, and then he just has speed bar for days. So there are different opportunities and different ways that these teams may work. So that's really going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments about Pocket Dimensions, anything else you guys want to know about, make sure to make sure to drop a comment down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. We did find this video helpful. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.